The story begins in a small restaurant. Two people are sitting side by side watching the news on TV about a serial killer called the Mangler and his horrific murders. Just then, a man named Charlie walks into the restaurant. When the waitress, Anna, comes to take his order, Charlie asks her to sit down. Anna, uncomfortable, tells him she doesn't know him. Charlie smiles lightly and says, "Strangers are how introductions begin." Anna finds the comment strange. Without saying anything else, she sets his coffee down and goes to the other customers. A few intoxicated people are hanging around the restaurant. They jokingly call Anna Mom because she's relatively older. One of them suddenly recognizes her and says, "You used to babysit my sister?" When her shift ends, Anna leaves the restaurant. Charlie is standing outside on the street. He offers her a cigarette and asks her out on a date. Anna clearly refuses both. Charlie says, "All right, not a date. Let's just talk for a bit." Anna starts walking, but Charlie follows her. As her discomfort grows, Anna pulls pepper spray out of her bag. Charlie immediately says, "I'm just heading to my truck." Anna replies coldly, "Then go." Suddenly, the situation changes. Charlie pulls out a gun and points it at Anna. "Come with me," he says. Shaking with fear, Anna cries and begs, "Please let me go. I have a little daughter." But Charlie doesn't listen. He forcibly drags Anna and throws her into his pickup truck. As the truck drives on, Charlie asks her, "Have you ever imagined being with someone like me?" With her voice frozen in fear, Anna only says, "Yes." Charlie says he's had a very bad day, but that he wants to do something good tomorrow. In a light tone, he adds, "If you want, we could even go out to dinner somewhere." Then Charlie suddenly asks, "What would you wear then?" Terrified and desperate to survive, Anna begins to describe an attractive outfit that comes to her mind. Under the pressure of fear, Anna had almost shut down her own will. She was agreeing to whatever Charlie said, hoping only to survive. But suddenly, the situation takes a horrific turn. Charlie attacks her, and at that very moment, everything collapses and changes. Charlie suddenly finds himself back in the past, at the exact moment when he first opened the restaurant door and walked in. Anna is standing there, completely unharmed, alive. Charlie is stunned. He keeps looking around as if trying to confirm reality. How is this possible? He was certain it was all over. Inside the diner, everything is exactly the same as before. The same lights, the same sounds, the same people. Charlie slowly walks over and sits in the same seat as earlier. Anna comes to him again to take his order. Charlie's voice trembles. He suddenly asks, "What's today's date?" Then, a bit awkwardly, he adds, "Do you know me?" Anna looks at him, slightly surprised. "No, have we met before?" At that, Charlie's head starts spinning even more. Without saying anything else, he just orders food. A man named David is sitting in the seat next to him. Charlie turns and tries to talk to him. The man's face looks strangely familiar to Charlie, but David doesn't look at him even once. The more Charlie talks, the clearer it becomes. The man doesn't seem to notice his existence at all. Uncomfortable, Charlie retreats back into his own seat. Time moves on. Anna finishes her shift and leaves the restaurant. And just like before, Charlie is waiting outside. The same words, the same uncomfortable proposal. When Anna starts walking, Charlie follows her again. Anna once more says, "Then go." But this time too, the story doesn't change. Charlie pulls out his gun again. Trembling with fear, Anna says, "I have a little daughter." Charlie replies coldly, "I know." Once again, he forces Anna into his pickup truck, and once again, he kills her. But the result is the same. In the blink of an eye, Charlie returns. To the same moment, the same restaurant. This time, he completely breaks down. He screams, "You're all playing games with me." But the people around him don't understand anything. To them, he's just a disturbed man. Suddenly, Charlie loses control again. He tells Anna to lift her clothes. At that moment, another customer, Sam, tries to intervene. Charlie immediately points the gun. Terrified, Anna is forced to obey, but Charlie notices something strange. There are no signs of injury on her body, no marks, no wounds. Charlie's mind stops working. He can't understand why there's no trace at all of everything that has happened so many times. Just then, Sam pulls out a gun and fires. Everything goes dark again, and just a second later, Charlie returns to that same moment once more. As soon as he does, he looks at Sam and screams, "You shot me!" Completely losing control in anger, Charlie storms out of the restaurant. His mind is focused on only one thing. He has to escape. He jumps into his truck and starts the engine, but within seconds, everything collapses. In the blink of an eye, he's back, right at the exact same moment. The restaurant, the people, the sounds, all exactly as before. Charlie tries to escape multiple times, sometimes on foot, sometimes in the truck, but every single time, the result is the same. he ends up back again. Then a terrifying truth becomes clear in Charlie's mind. He's trapped, caught in a loop of time. In a rage, he points the gun at Sam and fires, then bolts outside. But within moments, he's back in the same place, the same moment. This time, Charlie gives up. He walks calmly and sits back in his seat. He behaves strangely polite toward Anna, as if nothing has happened. Then he goes over to David and stands there. In a soft voice, he says, "I don't know who you are, but imagine if you were in my place, trapped in the same moment over and over, what would you do?" David doesn't move an inch. He doesn't raise his eyes, not a single word. Charlie realizes some people are part of the repetition, but not everyone is equally real. Suddenly, he stands up. He blocks a young girl's way to the ladies' restroom. The girl freezes in fear. Charlie doesn't say anything. He's just testing her. Then he goes to a couple's table inside the restaurant. Laughing, he says, "I just want to know about you two." To intimidate them, he flashes the gun slightly. Then, calmly, he claims, "These two aren't married. They're having an affair in secret." Looking at the man, Charlie says, "Your wife hired me to kill you." Instantly, he bursts out laughing. "Oh, no, don't worry. I was just joking." Both of them freeze in terror. Then Charlie goes and sits next to two nurses. They clearly feel uncomfortable. Without saying anything, they both get up and leave. In the next repetition, just as a nurse is about to leave the restroom, Charlie kills her. But even now, nothing changes. The loop doesn't stop. Time doesn't reset. Charlie tries to load the nurse's body onto a cart to take it outside. Just then, a worker says, "That's my trolley." Charlie stares. Then, he drags the worker outside too and shoots him. He throws both bodies into the trash. Then, another nurse comes out, looking for her friend. Charlie calmly says, "My pickup is right here. If you want, we can look together." The nurse eyes him suspiciously and says, "No, it's okay." She quickly goes back inside. Charlie re-enters the restaurant. He sits with Sam and Gary. This time, he orders another round of beer for them himself. As Anna brings the beers, she says in a firm voice, "This is the last round." Charlie just stares quietly at the glass. Time moves forward, but the repetition doesn't break. Then, another nurse comes running from outside, bursting in to announce, Sophie is missing. And that's when it becomes clear. The man had been outside just moments before. Charlie gets up and sits at that couple's table again. Suddenly, he kills the woman. Then, he turns to the woman's boyfriend and says, "What you're doing is a sin in the eyes of the Bible." In the next instant, Charlie kills him too. He then points his gun at another nurse, making sure even Sam can't pull out his gun. In a cold voice, Charlie says, "I could shoot all of you if I wanted, but there's no joy in that." At that exact moment, the restaurant chef comes from the back and kills Charlie. Then, everything resets again. Charlie finds himself talking to David once more. He starts killing the people in the restaurant again. Sometimes he kills someone, sometimes the chef comes and kills him. The repetition doesn't stop. Over and over, Charlie kills people in different ways. Eventually, he becomes utterly exhausted. Even when Anna orders eggs and bacon every time and the waiter says the exact same lines, Charlie memorizes them. But this time, they don't serve the food. Charlie says, "I know, and I also know there are eggs in the fridge, so tell your head cook to make them." He goes himself and places the eggs in front of the cook. The cook, annoyed, says, "Go back to your place." Charlie angrily lunges at him, but the cook is physically much stronger. Then, Charlie starts focusing on the hook in front of David. Seeing David, it's as if he's some secret mission agent. Charlie realizes he can't kill David, but he thinks maybe if he could break free from the loop. He tries over and over to kill David in different ways, but each time, the chef comes and defeats Charlie. The loop starts again, but this time, Charlie notices an old man sitting in the restaurant. Charlie screams, and at that very moment, the man disappears. This repetition has broken Charlie so much that tears run down his face. Anna calls the police to get him out of there. The police drag him outside by force, but the repetition starts again, once more. Charlie completely breaks down. In front of David, Charlie begins to say, "I don't know." Then David replies, "You don't know what you don't know. You know, I thought you were the real person, but now look, you're sitting there crying." He continues, "Charlie S. Obrist, Ted Bundy, Dahmer, Ed Gein. If they were in your place, think of what they would do. What would your father do?" In anger, Charlie snaps, "Don't talk about my father." Charlie asks, "So what am I supposed to do?" David replies, "You have to see for yourself." Charlie says, "I've already killed them all." David answers, "But look, They're still here. Charlie says, "So what do you want? If I remove everyone, clear everything out, would that let me get out of this repetition?" Then Charlie begins systematically killing everyone in the restaurant, one by one. In the end, only Anna remains. Charlie separates her. Just then, another employee comes in for a shift change. Charlie kills them too. He tells Anna, "This is how it was meant to be. I can't do this anymore. I can't sleep. I can't die. But I understand now. You are my end." He stabs her to death, but once again, Charlie is sent back into the past. The repetition resets again. Charlie's face looks as if he's about to cry at any moment. He leaves the restaurant. He sees no way out of this loop. After killing so many people, he is completely mentally exhausted. Charlie sits in his pickup truck and cries loudly. In the next repetition, he sees a priest sitting in front of him. Charlie goes and sits beside him. The priest asks, "What have you learned?" Charlie says, "I want to go home." The priest asks, "Why are you here?" When Charlie replies, "I don't know," the priest answers, "Yes, you do know. Charlie has come here seeking freedom, seeking redemption." The priest tells him to try. Charlie says, "I've done many terrible things." The priest shares a verse from the Bible and says, "You have the power to choose your own future." Crying, Charlie says, "I want to be free. I ask for forgiveness." He asks the priest, "What should I do?" The priest says, "Start anew." In the next repetition, Charlie begins treating everyone well. He even changes where he sits. Charlie stops the drunken men before they even enter the restaurant. He points his gun at them and says, "You too, get out of here. The restaurant is closed." He tells the young girl, "If you want, I can make sure you get home safely." The girl replies, "No, thank you," and leaves. Then Charlie politely gives Anna her order. Anna, in turn, is friendlier and more relaxed with him than before. Charlie goes to the nurses and says, "I just want to thank you for your service." The nurses are pleased with his words of appreciation. Charlie approaches the couple and says, "My father was a terrible man. He did many bad things, abused my mother, he cheated on her, and then my mother took out her anger on us." Charlie adds, "Look, I don't know what goes on in your house, but children understand everything. Now, David is not there." Charlie peacefully enjoys his dinner. Outside the restaurant, he laughs and spends time with Gary and Sam. Anna comes up to him and asks for a cigarette. They look up at the stars in the sky. Anna says, her daughter knows all about the constellations. She can show every single one. Now, Anna is much more comfortable talking with Charlie. Charlie walks her to his truck. Anna looks at the pickup and asks, "Is this yours?" Charlie replies, "Yes." Then Anna comes close and kisses him. They both get into the truck. Charlie leaves his gun outside. Charlie becomes very nervous because this is the first time anything like this has ever happened in his life. He asks, "Why?" Anna pulls him closer. She kisses him, but then Charlie stabs her. This time, however, the loop does not restart. Instead, the scene changes. Now it is revealed to be a therapeutic facility where a board is watching all of these events unfold on a screen. In fact, everything that had happened so far was a simulation taking place inside Charlie's mind. Charlie had voluntarily signed up for it, so when he sees Anna there, he begins to scream. The doctors explain that this isn't the real Anna. He must have seen her face somewhere before the simulation. But Charlie shouts, "You trapped me. Who interfered? You threw yourself at me." In reality, Charlie is a prisoner. He came to this project thinking that if he could prove he had changed, he could get out of prison. But now that's no longer possible. He has shown everyone that he hasn't changed, and David is also guilty, just like Anna. He couldn't sleep, so Amy comes and gives him an injection. Amy is actually Anna's daughter. She sends Charlie back into the simulation, and that is exactly where this story ends.